Hi. Okay, so I've got a Snow Peak fire pit, and this is the first time I brought it away camping with us. I was quite excited to have it, but in the past what put me off bringing it along with us was how heavy it is. This is the large Snow Peak fire pit, and I got all the bits and pieces, and then I've got the grilling rack, and I've also got the double sort of frying grilling rack set up, and it makes, you know, all of those things together make it a really heavy, but just the fire pit itself is quite heavy. But anyhow, here it is. We've taken it away, and we set our fire up last night about 9 p.m. because we had an overnight shift that we had to do with the horse riders that would be doing their endurance championship throughout the night, and we were burning the fire all night till about 5:30 this morning. Now, whilst I was excited to bring the Snow Peak fire pit out with us, what I have found that having used it in this situation is that the ash just stays in the pit and you know, doesn't really fall away anywhere. For some reason I thought that it might come out the bottom, drop out the bottom, but you know, having a look at it now, I see that, well, that's not going to happen. So you know, the ash just accumulates there, and the coals, and you know, eventually over time throughout the fire, depending on how long you're burning, you know, these things, you know, they get smaller and smaller. But this fire has still got a lot of heat in it, so it's probably around 2 p.m. this afternoon, Saturday. And as I said, we lit our fire last night at about 9 p.m. and that's the type of wood that we've been using, dead wood that's been lying around, and we've sawed it up, and now this is what we're left with at the moment. So we're in Bowen at the moment, and most often people call this place Blowin' Bowen because of the winds that come through, and typically closer to midday and in the afternoon, the thermals, you know, are at their peak and we get a lot of wind coming through. So with all this ash sitting there that I can't do anything with because it's still hot, the ash that was right up to the top of the sides, is now no longer up the top, as you can see, because throughout the morning and this afternoon a lot of the fine ash has been blowing wherever the winds take it. So we've had it blowing into our camp and blowing wherever the wind is going, which for me is not the ideal situation, because I don't like to have our stuff coated in ash, and you know, it's just not cool, it's just not what I want. So I've decided that I'm probably not going to take the Snow Peak fire pit away with us when we go away camping, and that I'll just make a fire on the ground where it's possible, if those types of fires are permitted, or if there's a fireplace there for us to use. And if there is no fires allowed, then we'll just go without a fire, you know, big deal, no problem. I'll just keep the Snow Peak fire pit for at home, for our own personal use in the backyard. I also got the Snow Peak Hexa Pro tarp, which I'm quite happy with in how it's put up and the size of it. So we previously used to use a a military canvas tarp with the strong hardwood poles to put up our canvas tarp. But I got this because I sort of wanted to see how it would go, the package size of it when it's all packed away in the bag. Because the military tarp one that we had, it ended up being a big package, and with the tent poles that we brought with it, that was quite a large package as well, and it took up a lot of room in the trailer. So I'm quite pleased with the Hexa Pro tarp, and I watched one of the drifter videos that showed how to put it up using the poles to measure out where you put your where's the guide ropes, have those going, your pegs for the guide ropes to come out, and that just made it really easy to put up. And I've put this, when I tried it at home, I put this up by myself, and you know, it was easy. I took my time because it was my first time to put it up, but I was quite pleased with how easy it was and for taking it down. And you know, if you can fold it up in the same way that, you know, it came out of the package, it just makes it a whole lot easier to you know, fit it all back in its bag. So that's really great. And of course we run with the drifter with the Snow Peak tent pegs, you know, those forged ones, those are awesome. Never go back to those silly little tent pegs, you know, that you get in kits and that.
The Snow Peak tent pegs are awesome because of the shape that they're forged into. So not only the inherent strength in the high quality materials and the shape, the peg itself is tapered and it's oval. So that combination, in order to release the peg from the ground, you rotate it 90 degrees and that enlarges the hole. Now with an enlarged hole and a tapered peg, they come out really easy. And they're bulletproof in terms of driving into very hard ground as well.
Thank you, John. That was a very good technical description. I'll show you around our camp. We use Helinox gear for our beds. We've had them for quite some years, Helinox cots, and we upgraded to have the legs to raise the cot because it was too difficult trying to get up off the floor when it was in its lowered position. We also have the tables, have this type of table with the cup holders, and we have the new one that has the flat top and the basket underneath for storage. These tables are really great, in particular the one with the cup holders, because I also use them to put my legs up on, get them off the ground and kick back in my chair and have my legs up on there. And they're quite tough, really tough, and you know, I'm no lightweight girl, that's for sure. Here's our chairs. Obviously I went for the comfort chair, which I've kind of found is not really as comfortable. It's no different, actually I prefer John's chair, which is this one. Me seeing the larger chair, thought, oh, that'll probably be better for me, more comfortable, that sort of stuff. And yeah, it's comfortable, but you know, I could have just gone with one like John's and it would have been quite sufficient. Love these chairs. We've had them for about 5 years now, and they're still going strong. I also got the the attachments for underneath that you attach to the legs, so it stops the legs from sinking into soft sand or soft ground and makes the chair more stable. Because this stuff is so lightweight, the wind does tend to blow the chairs over and the tables as well. So you know, you need to, you know, put something on it or position your chairs in a place where the wind's not going to pick it up and blow it over. But otherwise that's fine. We use the sheepskins on our bed. They make for a really comfortable sleep, and we use these pillows that what are they? Forget what brand they are. Got them from Snowy's, but they're really comfortable. Oh, Thermarest. And you know, you squash it down and roll it up and it all tucks inside the pocket there, and then you pull it closed to keep it in the storage position. We put out one of these snow peak tables, which we really like. We've mounted the bracket to the door of the door here. Yeah, the battery storage. There's the bracket there, and the table just slots in there. Costly bit of kit, because you've also got to buy the legs. They don't come with the tabletop, but you know, it's quality gear, and we'd rather pay the dollars for something that's really functional, is quality, and we get a lot of use out of it. What else can I say? In the car, we have a fan, one of those Sirocco ones. You know, it comes down and you can position it directional. That's really great in the hot weather, because I don't do the hot weather really well, and I sleep inside my my sleeping bag sheet, but it's a double size one, and I'll peg the sheet up to the top of the roof of the car, somewhere up there, and I'll direct the fan into the sheet, and the fan will just blow into the sheet and create this great big balloon, and I'm inside the sheet, so I get you know, all this lovely air flying across me. Oh, we got new sheepskin covers for the car, so that's really good, because I sort of got tired of burning my legs when you jump in and sit on the vinyl seat. So we've got nice new sheepskin covers. Oh yeah, we travel with the Thetford porta potty, because I've tried so many different types of ways of toileting out in the bush, and you know, people say dig a hole and do your business in a hole. Well, been there, done that, and there are some parts of Australia where when you try to dig a hole, you'll be there forever, because the ground is so rock hard. So I've tried the bucket, I've tried the clean waste toilet system, where you use those plastic bags to line it, and you put the poo powder in, and then you bag it up. That was it stunk. And then, you know, when you're away camping, when you have all this bagged waste and the heat, the bags start you know, expanding, so there's always the constant worry of you know, the fact that they might friggin' explode, and then you'd have this big mess. Or if, when you went to leave, if you moved the bags, that, you know, one of them might, you know, leak or burst or something. But I used to always put the used waste bags inside a heavy duty bin liner because I didn't want to have the problem of having all that stuff all over the place. But this porta potty, love it. It's got height, you know, you don't have to fall onto it and then need grab rails to try to get off it. The only problem is the trailer where it travels. We don't have a fold down, you know, back. Our trailer is a tub, so it's fixed. So we actually have to lift this up and over the sides of the tub of the trailer. So when it's loaded with the flush water and with the waste, it's you know, it can be pretty heavy, and it's always a tenuous sort of a task, because I always think, oh, maybe I'm going to get shit all over me or something. But you know, you just got to think these things out properly. What else? Take you round to the back of the car.
The rack 4?
Oh yeah, the rack 4. This is the rack 4.
Rack 15/4.
Yeah, I just call it the rack. This is what we've been using most often to heat our food up and to have hot water for our hot drinks, and also for doing dishes. Do you want to open it up for us?
Well,
I'll be on this side.
Okay, it's got a low setting here, which is a nominal 60 degrees Celsius. That's your food warming setting. It's got an off, and then it's got a one-shot boil setting, and that's the model 15/4, and it's spelt RAK. Now this will properly boil the water, and then it'll hold it between 85 and 90 degrees Celsius if you leave it in the high position. It's got like a bain-marie tub in it, and below the tub is about 1.2. It's 1.18 by the manufacturer's specification litres of water. Now I've just taken the lid off, and they recommend using gloves, but because it's only been at 60 degrees, it's not stinking hot. But I guess in some circumstances you could boil, you could hurt yourself. So here's the bain-marie tub.
And that's a meal in there that that's chicken soup that I vac seal.
Vac sealed chicken soup, so the tub is still clean.
Yep.
We could have put the soup straight in there, but this started off this trip as a frozen package. We let it defrost enough that we could jam the package in there to fit, and we put that in this morning. That'll sit there until we're ready to eat it.
Yeah.
Unlike something like the Travel Buddy, you cook it, you pretty much got to eat it. This thing, well, if we don't feel like dinner today, it'll be there for breakfast tomorrow or dinner tomorrow. It keeps it at a secure, proper temperature for food storage in the short term, and for immediate eating.
Yeah.
So inside,
And this is the inside.
so that gives you an idea of the sort of size. I'm not going to dip my fingers in the water. Now, you've got a choice of having the 1.2 litres in the bottom with the bain-marie tub, or alternatively you can fill the whole jolly thing up with water and make coffees for a dozen people or something like that.
And what are these things here?
these are mount screws, just to, you know, if you're putting it in an army tank and going to be leaping across rivers and gullies and things like that at 100 miles an hour, you don't want this thing floating around the place. So these are just to screw it in place. So when you put this in, if this thing floats, you've got too much water. If it settles down nicely, so what I tend to do is slightly overfill it with the 1.2 litres in the bottom, and just have the empty tub sitting there, drain a bit of water out by pulling the tap, and just watch the tub come down till it's almost there. And I'm happy for a little bit of water to squeeze up the side, but I don't want this thing floating a half an inch above, because when the lid goes on and pushes it down, all the water comes up the side and squirts out because it's over full.
Can you show putting the lid back on so that we can get a good look at the lid? Because it's a really good lid, isn't it?
So this is the lid. It's a double seal rubber, one lip there and another lip there. It's got a relief valve and a vent up here. So through here you do get steam coming out when you're using the one-shot boil function, and this also lets it breathe and suck air back in when you're draining it, like having cups of tea sort of draining. So here's the outlet for where the steam and stuff normally comes, and we'll turn that round so you can see the caution hot pointing at this thing. So
and the handle is solid, isn't it?
a good solid handle, easy to put on. It just drops on here and closes, and then an over centre catch, and that's it.
And the catch is really good because you can't just pull that up, you've got to slide that up for this to be able to open. So yeah, that makes it a good safety feature, that it doesn't accidentally get opened.
So the handle's good for carrying it round when it's full or empty, and it's light enough to one-handed pick it up and put it in the back of the car.
Yeah.
I had to buy a special plug for this one. It didn't come with a cable. The plug was rather expensive.
What's rather expensive? What's that? Is that like?
Might have been $80 or $100, or might have been $50, I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
But it's a military grade sort of plug.
Did you have to do research to find the plug? Find out what kind of plug you needed?
I can't remember.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I would have either asked the manufacturer or gone online and found out what plug to get. But yeah, good waterproof plug. This is a 24 volt unit, because this car's got a 24 volt system, being a legacy from the Army's operating of radios, and it's got a very, very healthy battery kit in it. We've been sitting here for 2 days now, a bit over 2 days, and we're down to 50% capacity on the battery, and that's with fairly high temperatures through the day. The fridge running at almost freezing. The fridge is set to 1 degree Celsius, so it's fairly solid work on the fridge, and we've run for 2 days without charging the battery. So yeah, this thing will just travel inside the car. Pull Rhonda's door out of the way, and in it goes. We're fortunate our bed will fold down if we want to fold this piece down. down from up. If we want to fold this piece down, it can still clear. Here we're very fortunate with that.
Thank you for that information. What else do we use that I think is quite good? I came across this. It's a Lucy light, LEDs, a string of LEDs that, oh, they're all up there, but they all store into the case. So I can't remember, I think there might be about 12 LED lights in there, and so you just set them up, and with the Lucy lights you can charge them with solar power, and also with this unit you can charge it with a USB port, and when this is in the packed position, it just squashes down and you twist it and then it's locked shut. The LEDs have 3 light settings, so they're dimmable, so it starts off as dim, then brighter, and then brightest. And then when you first turn it on, this here is just a bright light, LED light that comes on, and then if you don't want that, then you move on in the settings using this button to take it to the LED lights and whatever setting. And this is for seeing how much charge it has. Some dots show up to show you how much charge or not that you have. I also have the inflatable Lucy lights, which we put out in the sun to charge, and there they are. This is the smaller one. It doesn't stay lit as long as the other one, but this one also has a red light, and this is the bright white light as well, whereas this one it is the warm soft light, and this one's probably my favorite because the warm soft light appeals better to me. And both of the lights have the flashing light system, so with this one it's red and flashes, or you can just have it on as a red light if you don't want to have bright light on, whereas the larger one here, it's just, there's no red light, it's just the warm glow with 3 different settings. Oh, and also the flashing as well. But other than that, those are just a few things that for camping make our camping really easy. I do bring my girls, my dogs, and we bring their crates which fold down to a flat pack. Boots for winter, awesome Ugg boots, got them online, they're called the Original Ugg Australia, and I've got a pair that are taller in the leg, and mine are dark brown or chocolate brown. Oh, also my torch that I really love is the lead lenser. Anyway, my battery's going to go flat, so I'll leave it there. I hope you found this interesting, and you know, when I've got something more to film, you'll see it on YouTube. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.